invite the distinguished representative of Congo to take the floor.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President. Congo aligns itself with the statement made by the representative of Uganda on behalf of G77 and China, as well as that made by Zambia on behalf of the African group. We wish to make a number of comments in our national capacity. Mr. President, at the outset, allow me to recall the remarks made from this very rostrum by Ambassador Hidalgo Basulto, former permanent representative of Cuba, shortly before the adoption of the first resolution on the necessity of ending the economic, commercial, and financial embargo imposed by the United States of America against Cuba on the 24th of November 1992. He said, "The embargo is the most serious of the myriad forms of aggression perpetrated against Cuba by the government of the United States. The embargo is immoral and unethical. It is an act which strives systematically to reduce an entire people to hardship and famine, in flagrant violation of their human, political, and social rights." Almost 31 years later, such remarks still apply as we consider Agenda Item 38 of the 78th regular session of the General Assembly. It is devoted to considering this embargo. Mr. President, it is vital that the interminable embargo imposed on Cuba by the United States of America be lifted. It has been in place since the middle of last century, and it needs to be lifted, as was recognized by the Secretary General himself in the report A/78/84 that my delegation welcomes. Indeed, this report states that the continued presence of the financial and commercial embargo imposed on Cuba by the United States of America, which has now been in force for 60 years, and Cuba's placement on the list of states that sponsor terrorism are both incompatible with an international system based on the rule of law, and both acts are a clear expression of the wielding of political and economic clout, which gravely undermines human rights, including the right to development. The harmful effects of these measures are as patently clear as they are unacceptable under the United Nations Charter and under principles of international law. Moreover, in addition to the effects aforementioned, the embargo is affecting the crisis following the COVID-19 pandemic and is exacerbating current economic, financial, and climate crises. And all of these are placing the well-being of the Cuban people under additional strain. Mr. President, Congo reiterates its desire to promote stringent adherence to the purposes and principles enshrined in the United Nations Charter. We call once again for the unconditional lifting of the economic, commercial, and financial embargo imposed on Cuba by the United States of America. I thank you.
I should like to thank the distinguished representative of the Congo